Good morning all. Happy Monday again on yet another beautiful day out here. Today I wanted to actually backtrack us back to like the first 2 or 3 videos that we did that talked a lot about the mind and a lot about thoughts. I'm still reading right now the book called the Dhammapada, and they're very short little passages for those who aren't familiar with it. And what I like to do is I'll read a passage or two and kind of play with that for a day or two. And I read one last week that I'd really want to share with you all because it helped me understand some concepts I think that I've been playing with for a while and struggling with for a while. So I'm hoping that this can inspire you guys a little bit too. So bear with me. It's 2 little passages, and it goes like this: that those who fail to distinguish the non-essential from the essential and the essential from the non-essential will, in feeding on wrong thoughts, fail to attain the essential. On the other hand, those who correctly perceive the essential as essential and the non-essential as non-essential will, in feeding on right thoughts, attain the essential. I think that the difference between figuring out the essential and non-essential in one life, like that could be a video in itself. I don't really want to hit on that as much, though I do think it's very important. But what hit me was the feeding of thoughts, the feeding of wrong thoughts versus the feeding of right thoughts. And it was really cool how this worked out for me. Is I read these typically first thing in the morning. They're short enough that I can kind of remember them and play through it without the day. And that day I actually had a sit down with a client just to talk some about nutrition. And we were just talking basically about the right things to put in your body, the wrong things to put in your body. And I had this light bulb in my head that it's like, well, thoughts are essentially food for your mind. So then it goes into the question well, what are you feeding your mind? And if you recall, if you've been with us for a little bit, the videos that we started with were very much like sitting with your thoughts. What thoughts are going through my head? What is the theme of the thoughts going through my head? Are they positive? Are they negative? Are they stressed? Are they happy? And I still very much so, go back if you're not familiar, maybe review those videos and start creating a practice of figuring out where your thoughts are at, either each day or in any given moment, right? It's kind of a practice of not just meditation, but mindfulness. But I loved this where it talks about feeding your mind through thoughts, right? And it's kind of like the joke is if you need to eat more vegetables but you don't like broccoli, don't eat broccoli, right? There's a lot of other vegetables that you can eat that are not only green but provide proper nutrition for you that aren't broccoli. So the same sort of thing goes where it's if you're finding emotions or you're having parts of your life that you may not be thrilled with or loving or enjoying or whatever it is, well then, you ask yourself what thoughts are feeding this. Because ultimately, when we dedicate ourselves to this type of practice, you can become the archetype of your life, right? You can create and cultivate different thoughts and feelings and emotions and then experience life in the way that you choose to experience it. So to go back again to some of those previous videos, figure out what are the theme of some of your thoughts, and then start to decide what am I going to feed my thoughts, right? Or what am I going to feed my mind with these thoughts? Do I want to be more positive? Do I want to be more grateful, right? Well, it goes back to the grateful journaling. You want to be more grateful. The way to start feeding your mind more grateful thoughts is through a practice, right, of gratitude, of grateful journaling. Constantly writing out every morning 3, 4, 5 things that you're grateful for until those thoughts just become this automatic food for the mind that you're picking up. I think personally, I thought it was a profound little insight. It was a light bulb moment for me. And as always with these videos, I hope it just helps maybe at least one person taking your spiritual practice, your wellness practice, whatever it might be. But I want to end this video actually with a quote from probably my favorite philosopher from the school of Stoicism, Marcus Aurelius. And Marcus says that our life is what our thoughts make it. And then the question is what do you want to make of your life? What are your dreams? What are your goals? What are your passions? What do you want to make out of your life? And then you just got to align your thoughts to that. Thanks, guys. Enjoy this beautiful day, and thank you for joining me. Goodbye.